We now know where the next Jasper Library will likely be. We'll have more on that, plus Carrie Schneider has this week's visit with our friends at the DuBois County Humane Society, and Mark Stedzik previews the Ferdinand Folk Festival on tonight's edition of Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. Well, it's now official. The Jasper Cultural Campus is on its way to becoming a reality, thanks in part to an unlikely assist. Last night, the Jasper Library Board voted in favor of the former Hoosier Desk site as the location for the next Jasper Library, by a vote of 4 in favor to 3 against. Although the vote being that close was not exactly unexpected, longtime Library Board member Bill Hewitt surprised many people by casting his vote in favor of the Hoosier Desk site. Hewitt, who had previously been opposed to moving anywhere away from the current site, says for him, the future turned out to be one of the biggest factors in his vote.
You wish that the people that built the building across the street had the vision to expand. In other words, they built the building, but give us that opportunity, because there, I don't know, but I think that in 2065, if Jasper grows, it's going to need to have a library that's bigger than what's across the street.
Hewitt also stated the recent approval of state dino tax credits for the Hoosier Desk site was the other key factor in changing his vote. Hewitt's vote was a victorious moment for city officials and many others on hand last night, including Jasper Mayor Terry Seitz. Seitz says what made him the happiest about this final vote was how much effort and thought the library board put into the whole process.
Really, the library board, this board, did their diligence, and I'm pleased, but I'm really pleased with at least their reasoning tonight. Whatever their reasoning was, whatever their vote was, they worked hard.
Now, the board also unveiled more cost details on the former Hoosier Desk site. Board President Dean Vonderheide stated that there is a verbal agreement in place between Hoosier Desk owners Ken and Paul Sternberg and the board for purchase of the building and site. The purchase price would be $864,000 to be split between the Library Board and Arts Commission. The board also learned that the dino tax credits can be applied not only to the total cost of the project, but also to the purchase price of the building, since it was not bought prior to the tax credit application being filed. Thus, the total project cost would go down from $12.8 million to just over $12.6 million, with the library covering slightly more than $6.3 million of that figure, and the Jasper Arts Commission funding the rest. Of course, the approval will be subject to the passage of a referendum on the local ballot in the fall 2016 elections. Board President Dean Vonderheide says the biggest goal now will be to sell the public on the Hoosier Desk idea over the next year.
No matter which decision we would have made, we'll have mixed feelings out there. And so it's got to be up to the board to be able to inform the citizens. You know, they haven't heard all the facts that we've gone through. At least I know the media has covered them. But to consolidate them and to go through them like we have as a group, it's something we owe the citizens of Jasper.
The Jasper Arts Commission has already pledged its full support to the Jasper Cultural Campus. Arts officials will be going before the Jasper City Council next Wednesday to start discussing ways to foot their portion of the bill. The pursuit of an armed robbery suspect from Harrison County ended along Interstate 64 in Perry County, with the suspect taking his own life. Indiana State Police say the investigation began yesterday afternoon when Floyd County authorities were called about an armed robbery in New Albany. Then at around 7 o'clock last night, the Harrison County Sheriff's Department was called about someone breaking into a shed at the Green Meadows Trailer Park in Corydon. A short time later, a Harrison County Sheriff's deputy arrived on scene and asked the suspect to surrender several times, but the suspect chose to flee instead. The suspect initially went up State Road 135 before turning west onto Interstate 64. Troopers say the subsequent westward pursuit reached speeds of almost 115 miles an hour. An Indiana State Trooper attempted to deploy a tire deflation device in Crawford County, but that attempt failed. The first successful tire flattening came near Ferdinand when a Ferdinand police officer deployed a tire deflation device, which cut the suspect's right front tire. The chase then turned back eastward on I-64, and the other 3 tires were flattened by a deflation device along I-64 back in Perry County. At the 79-mile marker, police say the driver attempted to slow down and cross the median. He then fired a single self-inflicted gunshot moments later, ending the chase. The suspect was pronounced dead on scene. Indiana State Police, Indiana Conservation Officers, the Crawford, Perry, and DuBois County Sheriff's Departments, along with the Corydon and Ferdinand Police Departments, all assisted the Harrison County Sheriff's Department with this chase. And finally tonight, Purdue University is reporting its largest freshman class on its main campus in West Lafayette since 2008, with the most students from Indiana since 2010. Purdue said Monday its 6,800 first-year students represents an increase of more than 300 over last year's entering class. The total includes 3,500 Indiana residents, or more than half of the incoming class. The Indiana total is up by more than 200 from last year. Purdue partly credits the increase in first-year in-state students to a doubling of the size of a scholarship up to $4,000 that's available to middle-income Indiana residents. Overall enrollment in West Lafayette has risen by more than 600 students up to 39,400. Purdue says the freshman class includes more than 2,200 U.S. non-residents and more than 1,000 international students. All right, coming up after the break, Carrie is next with our friends at the DuBois County Humane Society, and later, an early preview of Saturday's Ferdinand Folk Fest. We're back after this.